Keith Farrelle Cozart is an American rapper and record producer better known by his stage name Chief Keef. In 2012, his successful local single I Don't Like was remixed by American rapper Kanye West and charted in the Billboard Rap Top 20, catapulting Chief Keef's career. In today's video, we're going to delve into why rappers are scared of Chief Keef. Interact with us. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be notified when we upload more content. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks. Beef with 6ix9ine. Many rappers have claimed the title in the past, but 6ix9ine is by far the most controversial artist of 2018. Since the release of Gummo in late 2017, when his buzz grew to a national level, 6ix9ine has been involved in beef after beef with plenty of rappers. He even decided to take on rappers including The Game, YG, Trippie Redd, Casanova, Jay Critch, and others. He recently set his sights on Chief Keef, and he always appears to take advantage of an opportunity to make the most of a beef, which happened with Chief Keef, whether that's a smart idea or not. Chief Keef, who was shot outside a New York City hotel on June 2, 2018, appeared to ridicule him. On the day of the shooting, Chief Keef is stopped at LAX after a flight to Los Angeles and questioned about the event. He kept his mouth shut, saying only, "We don't have scary incidents." Many people assume the rapper is responsible for the attack, and he appears to resume his Keef trolling when he claims that it was the Chicago rapper's background as a gangster rapper that prompted individuals to shoot him. I guess Chief Keef, he's a gangster rapper. He promotes violence, Tekashi said in the video. I guess he has a lot of beef in these streets. I don't know who he's beefing with that wants to hurt him, but it's definitely not me. I'm actually a fan. 6ix9ine's latest remarks came just days after he published videos of himself declaring he wasn't afraid of Chief Keef and Lil Reese, with whom he attempted to start a fight after his GBE accomplice Tay Doe was accused of beating Cuban Doll. Last month, Cuban Doll, who is rumored to be dating Tay Doe, posted a video of himself on social media claiming that Tay Doe was to blame for her wounds. Extensive criminal history. Chief Keef was arrested on heroin manufacturing and distribution allegations on January 27, 2011. He wasn't convicted of his charges as a juvenile offender, and he was placed under home arrest. He left his grandmother's house in December of 2011 with a coat over his hands and in front of his waistband. A cop pulled over to question the rapper. He threw down his coat, brandished a revolver, and bolted. Officers pursued Chief Keef, then 16 years old, who repeatedly spun around and brandished his revolver at them. The cops discharged their firearms but didn't hit anything. They apprehended him and recovered the loaded revolver from him. Chief Keef was charged with 3 charges of aggravated unauthorized use of a weapon. Along with this, he also got 3 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm on a police officer. He was also charged with a misdemeanor, in which involved assaulting a police officer. He was imprisoned in the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center until he was sentenced to home confinement at his grandmother's home by a judge. On September 5, 2012, Chicago police said that Chief Keef was being investigated for a probable link to the shooting murder of Joseph Coleman, a fellow rapper and Inglewood native, who went by the stage name Lil Jojo. Chief Keef's death was mocked on Twitter, which he later claimed was the result of his account being hacked. Coleman's mother has stated that Chief Keef paid for her son's death. On October 17, 2012, Cook County prosecutors urged the judge to remand him to juvenile jail for alleged parole violations. This was in response to a video interview he gave at a shooting range that showed him firing a firearm. A hearing was scheduled for November 20, 2012, but it was postponed and rescheduled for January 15, 2013. Pitchfork Media, which had broadcast the now deleted video, was ordered by the court to give the footage from the interview. Chief Keef was issued a judicial summons on December 31, 2012 for a fresh and unrelated suspected parole violation. Keef failed to tell his juvenile parole officer of a change of address, according to prosecutors. The date for his hearing was set for January 2, 2013. Despite prosecutors' requests for him to be imprisoned, Cook County Judge Carl Anthony Walker allowed him to stay free, claiming that he had not been supplied with any any serious evidence to justify his imprisonment. On January 15, 2013, Chief Keef was arrested after a juvenile court judge concluded that the gun range interview video was a probation violation. Chief was ultimately sentenced to 2 months in a juvenile prison institution and declared a state ward 2 days later. He was released on March 14, 2013. Earlier in the year, on January 17, 2013, Chief Keef was sued for $75,000 by Team Major, a Washington, D.C.-based promotion business, for a missed show. Keef was scheduled to perform at the O2 Arena in London on December 29, 2012, according to the company. However, he never came to the show, and neither he nor his label had given an explanation for why he didn't show up. On May 20, 2013, he was arrested again, but this time in an upscale hotel in DeKalb County, Georgia. This apparently was for smoking marijuana. He was released later that day. 8 days later, he was arrested for driving 110 miles an hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone in his hometown of Chico. Later, he was released on bond. On June 17th, he came to court and pleaded guilty to speeding. On October 15th, 2013, Keef returned to jail for a 20-day sentence for a probation violation after testing positive for marijuana tabalites. Following this, on October 24, 2013, he was released early for good behavior. However, on November 6, 2013, Chief Keef was back in jail for another time. After a stint in rehab, Chief Keef was arrested on March 5, 2014 in Highland Park, Illinois, for driving while under the influence of cannabis, driving on a suspended license, and having no proof of insurance. Kim Productions allegedly gave him a $15,000 deposit for the performance, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also claims that the event had to be canceled as a result of his refusal to show. Chief Keef was then evicted from his Highland Park house in June 2014, despite the fact that the house's owner, Bal Bansal, said he was a nice tenant and that his departure was voluntary. Authorities verified it was an eviction. Chief Keef was then again arrested in January 2017 for allegedly assaulting and robbing a producer named Ramsey the Great. He claimed Chief Keef took his Rolex and threatened him with guns. Due to a lack of evidence, these accusations were withdrawn. In June 2017, Chief Keef was arrested in South Dakota for consuming marijuana and possessing drug paraphernalia. He was able to post bond and go to trial on the accusations. As you can see, Chief Keef has an extensive criminal past, and this often keeps many people at a distance. Although many rappers have a criminal history, Chief Keef definitely has the biggest rap sheet. This is partially why rappers are scared to associate closely with him, as he is very controversial and has this controversial past that sometimes still continues to happen in his present life. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about why rappers are really scared of Chief Keef. It's not that they're afraid of the rapper per se, but it's more that they are scared to associate with him. However, we would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of Chief Keef? Why do you think rappers don't tend to associate with him? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.